Council Ewa Homazo. Council meaning say what your tapes no Mamin Tio on the development a course so Ewa appointment committee no any.
So me that's very which year or tier for so. I believe that the stand taken by the minority, is understandable. Indeed, a colleague of theirs is being removed from the parliament. I was saying, I can say, to be able to share, now what's a study, as you would into where the Supreme Court has come up to say, not only should a person be removed from parliament, but everything about him in parliament should be removed. They are justified in looking at it from that serious perspective and asking for the reasons which went into such orders. Again, near arrogance say, leaving some time lapse between when the judgment or ruling was made and when the reasoning will be available. It will give room for all manner of propaganda, speculations, and a whole lot of them. It's your own for looking at the very sensitive nature of this particular matter. They could have proceeded to do this. Or somebody will ask and say, why don't you even wait till that time? And then if it is in June that you'll be ready to give out that judgment, I don't know, won't change. And to that extent, I understand him say, or can say the lacuna, the time lapse between when the judgment or ruling was made and when the reasoning will come out, it will give room for all manner of speculation, especially so when it is a very, very sensitive political issues involve the two main parties in Ghana. But let us also understand it from the perspective, say, when the first time I hear way, courts, especially the Supreme Court, for most times, they will just come and see, say, young judgment and then ruling there. And that the reasoning, will come up in about a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks' time. Until they are almost yet to say, maybe I hear something which is being done for the first time. Almost can brofo na ayana brofo kasemuno. They mean what they say, or you assess the context in which the expressions are made. What minority leader now almost they wanted to have a look at the reasoning so that they can question her. When we are questioning somebody, it means there is something wrong with a particular thing now, depending on how you know. Until you are putting that person more or less to task to explain what you believe may not have gone well for you. Again, they said they wanted to interrogate the ruling. Now, if you interrogate the ruling now, and there you are making your own assessment of whatever will have been written. And you then come to either accept what you have read as being okay by you, or you say that you don't accept it. I hope you understand that aspect.
Yes, I do.
Now, let us get one point clear. You need to draw a woman. What system here that the serious system, into draw be ending. For Nancy, na yede sa a friend saying, we bring in the attempt to find a way to settle dispute. Alternate dispute resolution.
ADR.
Yes, ADR, where parties will go at arbitration or mediation. Na afanuna ati asese yenye say. In that case, no afanuna na akabomu adjust to say ye pasakwan wiso. So it may be presumed that both parties have won at that particular forum. But if we are to go the full hog of a quarter, it is that the adversarial system, one group wins or the other group loses. Now, the fact that a judgment didn't go in your favor doesn't mean that judgment is wrong. If I repeat it, the fact that a judgment did not go in your favor does not mean that judgment is wrong. You can only say that judgment is wrong when after the facts and the application of the law to those facts, are faulted and I say perverse.
Okay.
So if you are not able to do those things, now our argument is essentially because the judgment didn't go in your favor. Then you are doing nobody any good and you are doing justice no good. Because when you have your matter before the court, the prior understanding that you are giving to the court, they say, we are ready to abide by anything that you tell us to be your verdict. So when you are not happy with the verdict, you climb upstairs, you go up. Now this happens to be the Supreme Court which has made this particular pronouncement. So the next one will be what is known as the review.
Okay.
But the review, ain't just like an ordinary appeal. So I'm not satisfied. It will make way. When it comes to the review at the Supreme Court, it must come with exceptional circumstances. You must give good and concrete reasoning here. Also, say that judgment and I ruling on my and your appropriate into personal review. So the first hurdle is for you to state exceptional circumstances, reasoning here. Also, say, I said, some more chefs at the mouth. Other than that, you don't have that automatic review. It is just as I said, and yet an appeal against the ruling of the Supreme Court. No, it is a completely different ball game. So coming back to what you were saying, yes, the NDC group, will be right in saying some person will share what went into the reasoning. But I will say with the greatest of respect to say, if you look at Article 1273, it says, in the exercise of the judicial power, a judge or a judicial officer shall not be liable for any action or any omission by that person in exercise of judicial power. What it means is that so judge, the backer seem to be a bemoir. Yen to me so no say wo sa semasi we when you may said you I hope you understand.
Exactly.
So if you look at that provision in Article 1273, where you cannot hold a judge liable in the exercise of judicial power, which is exactly what she would have done in the Yaji Question's case. She was exercising judicial power. She was acting as a judge. It will also express the view about it. It might be wrong. It might be right. And as I said, if it is wrong, there is a way to go about it. If it is not wrong, we all accept it. But the Constitution is clear that you cannot hold that person personally liable because he did not do or he did not act in a particular way. Be a
and no minority so my next question was going to be on the appointment committee that opportunity in questioning her, especially getting to know or no reasoning as part of the pronouncement could that be the right forum as a minority no ejina so the side na.
With the greatest of respect, I don't think I will side the minority in respect of that. Ubemu say ma anasa bi no ka say se mo ba be hwe we nko ade a anka menyaya anka mo hwe bi judgment na. But you don't just take this particular judgment in nko.
Okay.
So that make an agree.
Yeah.
So that if the minority has any reason, say, or you're so terribly biased in favor of the NDC, in favor of the MPP, and that in the exercise of her work, she's going to be so terribly biased against the NDC, it must state so. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
But if it is a matter of law, and I think in one of her responses, she said it, that look, or you're Christian, or with certain belief and all those type of things, but say, do court them more. Her belief and all those things, or they are not to change. And she will have to act as per what the law says. And I have said earlier on, say, when you are going to give any judgment, you are looking at the facts as available and the facts as proven. And then you look at the kind of law obey applied to it. So it is either the person might have misapprehended or might have wrongfully evaluated the facts and will have applied the law because once the basis of the facts is wrong, obviously the whole thing will be wrong. It will also be that the person got the facts right, but the application of the law was wrong.
Exactly.
And that is wrong, or both were wrong. And whatever the NDC group has against the lady, they should come clean to say, "Mommy, say that oh yes." The Chief Justice, you are just not going to do things objectively. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I do, Council. The follow-up.
Because when you look at how they were trying to bring Major Naikun,
Major Mahama.
Those that Major judges
Okay.
Also, there was a link that or related to the lady. So that make an answer.
Yeah.
And then some other questions that were asked. So it is beginning to look like lady we name Major Aqua our relation. Major Aqua so PNDC for time so me no. We biara ye kuni nipa no or a certain pain against us. I mean the PNDC, because that person died beyond the PNDC time. The NDC has also come as an offshoot of the PNDC. So some kind of extrapolation is coming in. It be a was or yawo no. To that extent, you may not want to have anything to do with the NDC. If that is the argument, we should come clear and say that this is what we in the minority are saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
But if we are going to limit it to this singular judgment or ruling in respect of articulation, even where I'm saying, say, the ruling or judgment is wrong, are you saying that she did not follow due process in handling that particular matter? Would I make an answer?
Yeah.
And are we saying that the interpretation that went into the judgment, it was not objectively or purposefully interpreted as per the law? So those are the things that we should be talking about.
Now, Council, how do we talk about those aspects? At the time, reasoning from the court vis-a-vis the application of law as against the facts established in the case. And he said reasoning court na kasamfa ne decision in terms of written how do we see the ones we have now just the pronouncement made so far?
I agree. Because we cannot see whether the judgment was fair or was unfair.
Yeah.
I hope you understand.
Yes, I do.
But the bottom line has been that Yachikwisin has been told not to have anything to do with Parliament. Let's flip the coin. If it were to be that Yachikwisin was to come to Parliament and exercise his full role as a parliamentarian, would they have said that they would still want to see it?
I don't think so.
No. So you realize that they are asking for this particular ruling or judgment, not necessarily to see say it was scholarly written or what, but they will want to look at it to see whether there is anything in the said judgment, to show say there is any particular bias towards the education. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand you, but in that sense, with the entrenched position, one more facility, say they are considering whether to pass her or not, as the minority side on the appointment committee, isn't that a kind of blackmail? Say, who reasoning there, we may not go ahead in affirming you. Say, ubetimi ako did the position you've been nominated for.
If you are seeking my very candid opinion now, I'll tell you, sir, the trajectory that the minority is taking, ultimately it will not be in their favor. Why am I saying so? Said there's going to be a voting because the majority stance will prevail. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, because they will go to the preliminary and tell the what the majority has said. The minority by their action are saying so there's going to be the primary debate, and then the whole approval will be subjected to vote. The MPP has
majority.
Yes, because so many people know you have to be the action at night. You are no make sure I say the number courts, I type the number in Parliament Hall. So they will vote, and ultimately the lady will end up becoming the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice. Where Oyenipa, into Oyenipa, no, if they run up to her becoming a Chief Justice, characterized by this attitude of the minority, I do not think that it will work well for the minority.
Okay, exactly the next point I was going, because Sir Ekobanisa yaba plenary na a majority decision vis-a-vis the minority I take this entrenched position. We are not giving you the passage until say we have seen the reasoning behind why I'm taking out one of our members. Then the majority in the New Patriotic Party goes ahead to approve the leadership. Say 1 year the next Chief Justice. Now, seemingly, Obibeka said it's a political decision that has been taken. Her approval has come in the absence of a minority, also giving her the affirmation. The support politically, Obi here to do her work, that wouldn't be there. In that sense, the case be court to cry and NDC default in that regard. Now we pronounce no kapanda on one. The circumstances are a debeba and the peace for our country.
What is happening is when it comes to
Kessben 92.9
empaneling of the justice of the Supreme Court cases, the Chief Justice is supposed to always chair the Supreme Court panels.
Okay.
Now, in the absence of the Chief Justice, the most senior Supreme Court judge will be the one at the head. She can decide, say, look, when it comes to issues about NDC matter, I will not sit on it.
Okay. I'm very curious in who free so.
I'm very curious because she will lose nothing.
Okay.
If you look at what happened during, I think the earlier with the chairman of the chairman of the election
petition panel. Yeah.
There was a Chief Justice, but the Chief Justice, for obvious reasons, decided that she was not going to, be a member of the panel. She must move on the day away. So those issues, if she plays her cards very well, wouldn't be the very pig-headed type. Said, Mr. Mishu, said more power.
Okay.
Because when you look at the whole setup, the judicial service, the judiciary is supposed to be independent. It is not to be dictated by any entity, be it the executive or the parliament. The same thing goes to the parliament. The same thing goes to the executives. They are supposed to exist as individual entities. But of course, they cannot do that with that pristine independence. Some kind of some relationship better, because you will have to send the budget estimates and all that of the judicial of the judiciary to parliament and for parliament to pass it or otherwise. If there is that kind of good relationship, money a bit easier at the money. But coming back to the actual issue NDC minority, I can say almost person who near Yachono. Even though I agree to the principle of collective responsibility, because this is a unanimous decision. If it were to be a majority decision there, right?
Okay.
Then probably you can have a situation where it may be a majority decision, but we can say, okay, this group took lane A to arrive at this decision. Even though I will come to the same decision with them, I want to take lane B. But if it's a unanimous decision, they are not just saying,
yeah.
It's whether she's the one who will write the judge, write the opinion of the Supreme Court or somebody else, whatever it is presumed say or no account, and that's no put no actual.
Okay.
But thing is, are we going to hold her personally liable because the judgment or the reasoning in the said opinion was not favorable to the NDC minority? Is that the point that is being made? And I will go back to what you said earlier. Won't share no to assess me as being somebody capable of being a Chief Justice. If that is the argument there, why don't you go and read those things that I wrote earlier on, even as a Supreme Court judge? Why don't you go back to check on my opinions at the Court of Appeal? What about the High Court? If that is the argument, I hope you understand.
Yes, I do.
If we are going to narrow down all that she has done, you're told to say, or you're beautiful, or capable. She has the moral and excellence to handle this particular position. Now you narrow down to the fact that the opinion as written out in Jachiko's case and favorable to us, and I think we will have shown, and I'm talking about the minority, they will have shown themselves as being unnecessarily happy because things didn't go in their favor.
Okay.
You show a lot of maturity. It may be painful, but you let the person know that, well, we see you as being above board. So keep to it. Don't let somebody else make you bend.
Very well.
By the act, make it look like, oh, you have shown that you are already in the claws of that person. Then that group will end up creating some unnecessary difficulties for themselves.
Council, I must be grateful for your time with us. And say lawyer Paul Kumi and Yadino Edin Komono, or a private legal practitioner, constitutional lawyer, explaining some of the circumstances about what transpired at the appointments committee on Friday.